Here.
Here.
Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the meeting of October 9th, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. 7-0, Mr. Lauer. Any special reports tonight, Mr. Lauer?
No.
Okay. So we'll move right into audience comments. This is the portion of the meeting where any member of the audience can speak for up to 5 minutes on a non-agenda item. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Seeing no one, we will move right into unfinished business, of which there is also none. So we'll move right into new business. First, authorize the appropriate township official to execute a contract with Professional Code Services for the purpose of providing services related to the Pennsylvania Uniform Construction Code.
So, as is the case with many municipalities in southwestern Pennsylvania, Peters Township relies upon third-party reviewers for the review and issuance of commercial building permits. And for many years, Mrs. Margaret Fisher has done that service for the township. And Mrs. Fisher's knowledge and experience has served us well over those years. And I would particularly point out the high school, which was a very complicated project, and it was able to move ahead expeditiously, largely through her efforts. She's informed me that she has decided to retire at the end of October. With the assistance of Mr. Trent, he's the consultant that we hired in to help us with the transition to the planning department. We solicited proposals from Professional Code Services, a firm focused on providing a complete array of services associated with the Uniform Construction Code, including commercial and residential plan reviews. A number of municipalities in the area use their services, including Cranberry, South Scott Township, McCandless, Pine Township, and Richland Township. I've spoken with the municipal managers in each of those communities, and they speak highly of the quality and timeliness of Professional Code Services work. And so it's therefore my recommendation that Peters Township Council authorize the appropriate township officials to execute a contract with Professional Code Services.
I'll make a motion to approve we authorize appropriate township official execute contract with Professional Code Services for the purpose of providing services related to the Pennsylvania Uniform Construction Code.
I had a question. Would the cost of this, is it going to be substantially greater than what we've been paying in the past?
The cost will be greater, but that cost is all covered by the building permit fees. We've actually, besides Ms. Fisher providing us excellent service, she did so at $75 an hour, which is substantially below what is charged for this service. So,
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. 7-0, Mr. Lauer. Next item, authorize the appropriate township official to execute a memorandum of understanding between the Washington County Conservation District and Peters Township.
So the Washington County Conservation District works under authority delegated to them by the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. The Department of Environmental Protection requires the districts to enter into memorandums of understanding with municipalities that are being served. The memorandum doesn't create any new responsibilities for the township. It simply provides a written guidance as to the appropriate nature of each party's role. We have an existing memorandum. This one doesn't change it in any particular way, but that's my recommendation to council authorize the execution of the memorandum of understanding.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. 7-0, Mr. Lauer. Next item, authorize the appropriate township official to execute a subdivision improvement agreement with 339 Just About Land Company, LLC, related to the Tuscany 2 plan of lots.
So on March 13th, 2023, Peters Township Council approved the Tuscany 2 preliminary plan. On August 28th, Peters Township Council approved the final plan. Before council tonight is action on the associated subdivision improvement agreement. Subdivision improvement agreements are provided for in the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code, and are also required by Township ordinance. Normally, these agreements are pretty straightforward and standard. What they're doing is outline the nature of the improvements and the amount of bonding required to ensure that those improvements are done. What's different about this plan is the work along Just About Road that's being required. If you recall, when we looked at the final plan, the developers required along Just About Road to give us additional right-of-way. We could have required him to do improvements along that right-of-way, but it was the staff recommendation to council that that probably doesn't make sense given the short span of Just About Road that we're talking about and given the nature of the remainder of the road. So what the development agreement requires that in lieu of doing that the developer pay the township a fee of $2,000 per home, which can be used by the township for other purposes. And then in addition, one of the things that is unique to this is that this gives us an opportunity to address a concern that has existed for years with regard to the intersection of Sienna Trail and Just About Road. It allows it to be realigned, and to be able to do that, it requires a dedication of right-of-way from the developer actually to PennDOT so that the Just About Road can be straightened out at that intersection. It also makes them responsible for the design of the intersection and the actual construction of it. What the agreement provides for is that the township to become a partner in that improvement, and our partnership consists of being a co-applicant with PennDOT on the highway occupancy permit, as well as making a contribution to the developer to offset a portion of those costs. And with that, it's my recommendation that council authorize the appropriate township officials to execute a subdivision improvement agreement with 339 Just About Lane.
I don't think there's anybody in the township that's lived here for any period of time that hasn't looked at this intersection and said, this sucks. So it's time to do something, and I think this is a great opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve appropriate township official execute subdivision improvement agreement with 339 Just About Lane Company LLC related to the Tuscany 2 plan of lots, and authorize the appropriate township official to execute the agreement.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
I'm recusing myself.
601, Mr. Lauer. Next item, resolution authorizing an application for a community development block grant with the Redevelopment Authority, Washington County for ADA improvements at Elm Grove Park.
So in a regular cycle, normally about every 4 years, Peters Township is afforded money under the Community Development Block Grant Program. That program is designed principally to assist people with low and moderate incomes. It's hard to qualify a project in Peters Township under that criteria. But the other intention of the program is to address accessibility issues. And so Peters Township, when it did its last comprehensive plan, recreation plan, identified a number of accessibility problems inside of its parks. And if you go to Peterswood Park and you go down to Venetia Park, you can actually see work that's been done towards that end. The one that was identified with regard to Elm Grove Park is that this softball field here is not accessible. And so what the project envisions is to put a drive that comes up here and then extends up here and places parking up against the field, and also allows for the bleachers to be made accessible as well. The amount of money that is coming from the county is $104,700. we think, this hasn't been engineered yet, but we think that that may be enough to actually cover all the cost of the project. And it's my recommendation, the council approve resolution 10-223 authorizing an application for a community development block grant with the redevelopment authority of Washington County.
Make a motion that we approve resolution 10-0223, authorizing an application for a community development block grant with the redevelopment authority of Washington County for ADA improvements at Elm Grove Park.
Second.
I have a question about that, though.
Mhm.
Okay, so you make a drive, I mean, that's where kids, that's their walkway? So how do you,
Well, and when we go to design this, we're going to have to look to figure out how to do that and to do that safely with the kids. You know, one of the things right now, I think one of the other problems this is going to solve is right now you have to carry everything up to here. There's going to be a way to be able to get up to this drive that services this building.
yeah, because that's a steep hill up to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But I do know that, like, especially whenever there's park, like summer camps,
Mhm.
those kids are all right in that area.
Yep.
So, and I would assume it'd have to be like a, like handicap parking drive only type of a scenario?
Yes.
Yes, but the only thing I warned you about that is, we have other places, like there's parking along the trail that's only handicapped. I can't guarantee you that no one will ever drive up there that
Yeah.
doesn't have a
But then,
handicap
yeah.
plate.
Do we not own that property to the right there? Is that?
Behind home plate. Do we own that?
What property here?
Correct.
Yes. Yeah, this is ours. This is very steep here.
On the
though.
first baseline, to the right of the first baseline.
We own a little down into about here.
That's just a steep. That's
Yeah,
like-
there's a hillside that goes down. We own to the
Oh, yeah.
base of that hill and a little bit further.
I just feel like it'll be interesting to see, I'm sure you'll figure it out, but how you would make a drive, because it's just going to be just as steep to like,
But if you can get the car up there and we can get a flat parking lot, and it's really from those parking spaces that the ADA access comes to.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Anyone else? Yeah, Gary.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. 7-0, Mr. Lauer. Next item, resolution authorizing submission of an application to the Commonwealth Finance Authority statewide local share account program for improvements at Field 1 of Peterswood Park.
We've talked about this quite a bit, the grant that we received through the efforts of Representative Mihalik. That program's different than just about any other program that we've ever dealt with. The award of the grant is made first, and then the application for the grant follows. And it's a very time-consuming.
Yes.
To be fair?
Yes.
Time-consuming process to get that application done. It is now complete, and what the resolution does is authorize us to make that submission.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 10-04-23, authorizing appropriate township officials submit formal application and business plan with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Office of the Budget for the RACP grant received for Peterswood Park Fields 1 and 2 improvements.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. 7-0, Mr. Lauer. Next item, resolution authorizing the filing of a redevelopment assistance capital program application and business plan for the Peterswood Park Fields 1 and 2 improvement project.
So as we have spoken previously, the grant that we have, that we just took action on, provides for the relighting of Field 1, Field 2, press boxes for Field 1, Field 2, new dugouts in both of them, and a synthetic infield on Field 2. The Baseball Association would like to see, in addition to that, a synthetic infield on Field 1. Ryan and I both think that the best opportunity to be able to accomplish that is through this program. And the Baseball Association, I don't know that we have a formal commitment yet on the dollar amount, is prepared to also contribute to this. And we're going to look at other funding sources in Washington County.
Also, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but did you guys ever talk to the boosters for the high school, the Diamondbackers?
We've certainly talked to the
You guys-
baseball coach, and we've talked to the athletic director.
Okay, because the boosters kind of functions differently. So I know who the president is of that. And, I'm sure that they would love to know if they need to do some fundraising and would probably be open to it. So I could give her name.
You know what? Give us their contact information.
Yeah.
We'll talk to them.
Works. Make the motion.
Sure.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 100323, authorizing submission of the application for whatever it is, the redevelopment assistance capital program application.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. 7-0, Mr. Lauer. Payroll and bills, Dr. Borosco.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. I did review all payroll and bills. They're all in good standing order. Make a motion to approve.
Second. Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. 7-0, Mr. Lauer. Any correspondence we need to discuss, Mr. Lauer? No. Anybody want to discuss any of the various commission or committee reports? It's not. Miscellaneous emergency radio communication system, Mr. Lauer.
So, as council is aware, Washington County is moving forward with a project where they intend to rebuild the radio communication system throughout Washington County. We've had a number of discussions with representatives from the county. I'm convinced more than ever that that system is not going to meet the needs of the township. You know, a few years back, the township did upgrades to the emergency communication system within the township. We're one of the only municipalities, I think there's only 2 of us in Washington County who actually maintain their own system and are dispatched by County 911. Our coverage right now is at 95%. The bid specifications for Washington County requires them to be on an average of 90% coverage. And again, to me, where this is a giant step forward for just about all of Washington County, that's not the case in Peters. And so I have asked previously, and I've not been able to get an answer. So I want to put a formal request into the county commissioners and tell them that we intend to maintain our own emergency communication system and get assurances from them that they're going to dispatch us using our system. I think they have an obligation to do that, but I think it's important that we find out that in fact they intend to do that. So I guess, you know, my question is from council is, can we have authorization for Mr. Kozer or myself to send a letter to the commissioners?
I have no problem with that. Do you need a motion?
I would think that would be appropriate.
I'll make a motion that Mr. Kozer and Township Administration send an appropriate letter to the county commissioners along those lines that Mr. Lauer has just discussed.
I'll second that. Have they given you any indication that that may be a possibility that they would not want to dispatch us?
I haven't been able to get any answer to the question that's been asked directly. So that's what I'm after. And you know, quite honestly, when I look at the process that's been involved here, I have real concerns about what the end product's going to be.
Well, Frank just asked a good question. If for some reason they wouldn't agree to do that, and they try to bring us in under that new system, are we on the hook for paying for it then? Do we have to contribute to that?
Or is that a county expense?
That's a county expense. In fact, what you need to know about this is just like we spent $440,000 to upgrade this previously, there are going to have to be changes to mobile radios and portable radios so that we can in fact interact with their system. And there could be an additional charge to the township between $50,000 and $75,000. But I would much rather be on the hook for that money than have a system where emergency service providers can't talk to each other. And that's what scares me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. 7-0, Mr. Lauer.
Hey, I have a question. On this Freedom Transit thing,
Yes.
did we give them money last year?
Yes, we did.
Are we going to give them money this year?
You tell me.
What did we give him last year?
It's that amount that's in there.
A little bit less than 300,000 because they're asking for 300,000.
Not 300,000.
No.
3,000.
Where is it? Maybe I read it wrong. I'm sorry.
3,000.
We could buy it
22,
less.
yeah, it was 2250, so now it's 3,000.
All right, so are we going to, we need a motion for that too?
Well, I don't know that you need a motion. If you're telling me it's okay, if there's a consensus of council to do that, we'll put it in with the next set of bills.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with it. Anybody have any issue with it?
It's like a fair bet.
Well, once again, we have a bittersweet night here at the township. It seems like we're saying goodbye to somebody on a almost monthly basis now. Tonight, it's our assistant manager, Ryan Jarosky, who will be departing us. This is Ryan's last meeting with us tonight before he moves on and becomes the manager in Hampton Township. Ryan, I don't think any of us here can adequately express our gratitude to you for the job you've done at this township for the last 7.5 years. I think you've often underestimated your worth to this township, and I don't think there's anyone on this council that ever did. And we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
We hope that you're the manager there for a long time, and you know, we hope everything goes smoothly for you, but you're going to leave a big hole here, Ryan. And you know, we didn't want to do anything big for you. Paul has something small for you there.
But if there ever was someone where it should say Ryan's Way, in fact, we added the apostrophe, it would be Ryan. Ryan brings a really unique perspective to what we do here. The other thing is, you know, his love not only of Peters Township, but his love of municipal management is unique. One of the things I got Ryan to promise is that you know, Ryan's the source of all news that's happening in southwestern Pennsylvania. I need to stay on his news feed so I know what the hell's happening in southwestern Pennsylvania. But he will be missed. He's been a tremendous asset not only to myself but to all the department heads in the township. So good luck, Ryan.
Thank you.
Good luck, Ryan.
That's how he came back, because he always wanted his way.
Of course, Mr. Kozer, you got us all in trouble because Ryan lectured me about not saying anything.
I was going to, regardless of whether. And Ryan, Paul did tell me you didn't want me to say anything, but
Yeah.
okay.
Guess I didn't get my way all the time.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Anything anybody wants to see on the next agenda? Anybody got anything for the
Paul,
good?
did we get any word out of PennDOT on Route 19?
I did not have that yet.
Did you ever hear from the school district about doing an assessment appeal on that property?
What, the South Hills Honda?
Yeah.
The one that Cochran bought.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about. I don't think the school district is interested in initiating assessment appeals. Defending them, yes, but initiating them, no.
And the reason, you don't know?
We're, you know, and I think it's a slippery slope. I think what has them concerned. And I don't like to speak for Brad Rao, but Peters Township School District is probably the only school district in Washington County, and probably one of the few, even if you go into Allegheny County, that does not do proactive appeals based upon recent sales. And I don't think that, you know, what I gather is they're not interested in doing that on residential properties, and they're not interested in doing it on commercial properties. And one of the things that we have been told by the person who has represented us on assessment appeals is that if you begin to do this, you have to do it uniformly. So if we begin to do commercial appeals, you better be prepared to do residential appeals. And the school district's not interested in getting involved in that.
I mean, you're leaving a lot of money on the table.
Yeah, but you know what, ultimately, it's their decision. I mean, they're the ones that make the most money off the tax, so
Well, yeah.
that's if they, you know.
But I think on the one we were just talking about, I think their tax would be, their increase in taxes would be something like 80 grand.
But then again, what we're being told is that if you go after those commercial ones, then you have to go after those residential ones as well.
Well, you don't have to go after the residential ones. What you can't do is you can't cherry pick. Like you can go only after commercial, but if you start going after residential, you have to go after, you can't just, pick the house that's selling. You have to have a criteria. You can't just say, well, this one sold for 100,000 more. We're going to go after this one. We're not going to go after the one that sold for 30,000 more. But you're right, it is a slippery slope because where do you draw the line exactly? Okay, anybody got anything they want? Oh, I already asked that. Anybody got anything else for the good of the order? We have an executive session. We're adjourned.